All right, welcome back to Branching Out with me, Curtis Hanlon. And today we're going to try and get those doors up on the, well, maybe not today, but tomorrow we're going to get them up on the greenhouse. And instead of using rollers, I just used these little pipes here, welded them to two brackets. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to use some of the leak seal, which is this stuff here. I mean, you've seen me use it before on my greenhouse. This will help keep it kind of rubberized and waterproof. It might rub off on the doors a little bit, but it don't matter. We're going to coat it, make sure it's protected, and then we're going to install it, and then we'll have doors. So let's get at that. All right, so I took another stab at my last visit to Ed Chardulos for the season, or is it? I don't know, but I ended up getting more of these at $10 a piece for the berry bushes, and these are a lot. I got one blueberry in there, and I got a couple of cherries for a friend of mine because he liked the price too, and he wants a couple of dwarf cherries. So we have another 11 more dwarf cherries here, minus 2, so I got 9 more for the food forest. So we're gonna get them up into the greenhouse and just sitting and waiting till next spring, and then we'll find places to put them. All right, so we're out here. This is where my pawpaws are, so I had to kind of protect them because every time I kept coming in every weekend, there'd be a little hole dug in my pawpaw. So I don't want them to die. I spent a long time trying to get them going, so we just protected them. That's all I did. Just a few cinder blocks and an old bird cage. And here I'm not too worried about it. If the squirrels grab those walnuts, that's okay. I'll let nature take its course. But what you saying over there? What are you saying over there? There's one of our free runs. Okay, well, we'll get on to the tour. All right, I'm going to take on a little tour of the food forest real quick. I won't do a really long one, just a quick one. I stopped at Ed Chardulos, as I mentioned, and now I have, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cherry plants to put in. They're dwarf cherries, and you can see how they're still alive. And I got some budding going on here, which is crazy. This is November, first week of November, and it is 11 degrees. It doesn't look like it's going to get cold anytime soon. And then what I did also, I was able to get those little brackets done, those little holders, and that's all they do is just, they're in the, that's all it is to keep it from coming in and out so the wind doesn't take care of it. Let's check the temperature out in the greenhouse. I'm getting a little more leeway. I've been working on my loft right now because I plan to live here hopefully before winter, but we'll see what happens. It's showing, well, almost 25 degrees right here. As you can see, that says 25 degrees, 24. Anyway, it's pretty warm in the greenhouse, so lots of fun in there to be had. So can't wait to kind of close it up and use it this year. It's going to be my first year utilizing the greenhouse to grow in the winter, and we'll see how that works out as we go. It's still way too warm for me to start doing my pruning videos, so we're still keeping the water in the totes right now. We've gained a little bit of water, as you can see. I don't know if you've been watching my videos or not, but we're almost to the 3rd tier, which we were at the 2nd tier for a while. That's quite a bit of, there's at least 5 or 6 totes there full of water. So let's get down. Everything else is kind of closing up and getting sleepy for the winter, so let's go check them out. So this last one at the end here, that's all my raspberries that I transplanted from the tree line over here, and we'll definitely be working on them a little bit more next year when we get into the pruning and weeding and stuff like that. We'll get that out. We got a couple empty beds here, one I was using for vegetables, a couple empty so far. We got new blueberries and hascaps. The gooseberry, you can see it's closing down now. She was green, now she's red, so when they drop the leaves, that'll all be time for me to do my my spray for the peach leaf curl. As you can see, I got some blackberries here, and again, everything's kind of shut down. Hascaps are pretty much over. The leaves are already off. Blueberries are hanging in there. I guess they're pretty cold hardy. So this is just at the bottom part of my greenhouse, bottom hill. These are all the maples that are all dropping leaves right now. Everything's doing okay. I don't see too many predators, anything like that. So yeah, and then you got my compost over here. Get a little closer in a second. Little scan. You can see we got the pond all nice and full now. Dad helped me out with that. Thank you, Dad. And like I said, with the peach leaf still on the tree, I don't want to be doing any sprays. Oh, look, there's Barney over there doing his job. I believe he's got something there. Yeah, he's playing with a little vole or something, I'm sure. Good boy. Good boy. This is another this trellis here I also want to get built back up again. There's nothing growing in there, so I want to duplicate and or cuttings for my cold hardy kiwi. So then we're gonna just do these trellises full of kiwi. That's the plan. So again, next year we'll be able to work on this, because we're not going to be working on the greenhouse next year. Maybe in the greenhouse, but not on the greenhouse. So yeah, and we're right next to the compost, which I'm gonna grab those bulrushes next weekend, get them in there, mix them up. So a lot of my trees though, they got some really good growth on them this year. So next year I should be getting some plums. I didn't get any this year. So next year that should be the thing. I'm pretty sure it's about every other year. So yeah, there's Barney playing again. These are my Jerusalem artichokes. I'm gonna probably turn this into a patch of artichokes in here. I think they're pretty small tubers, so in order to get anything worth eating, you need quite a bit of them. All the grapes, they're one of the first things to kind of, the leaves all fell off already, so they're ready to go in hibernation. And I don't plan on doing any pruning on them this year. Maybe next year I'll do it, but I want them to grow along the trellis first. Everything else is quieting down. These are my vegetable beds that I use straw, leaves. I have put all kinds of bags in this thing here, so there should be some good dirt in there. I should get some manure, put that in fairly soon, and then let it work its way down over the winter, and then in the spring I'll have some pretty good garden beds. But again, now that the greenhouse is all taken care of, and it's only got a few projects left on it, so then I can, you know, spend more time out here in the garden and getting this stuff bigger, better. I got a few more of these Hugelculture raised beds I gotta make. So, but it looks like I might have to put a net around them if we're getting animals in here. Looks like some deer might be chomping on the top of them or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, yeah, the grapes again, they're shut down. Hopefully they last through the winter, and they'll come up next year. If they don't, I have spares. I have plenty of spares of grape. All Concord. I kind of like that one most because, well, the juice is delicious. So let's get down closer to the creek guilds. So these are some of my first trees that I put in. These are all down by this runoff creek that we have going on down here by my oldest hard pruned pear, which did really well this year, and they tasted delicious. I never ate more pears in my life until this summer. This is another plum right here. She got some really good growth. No fruit on it this year though, but hopefully next year. Again, cherry got some good growth on it as well. Just fixing these little deterrents, these little deer deterrents here. They kind of get tangled up in the branch. But yeah, I think he's pretty much down here bedding where I was going to start my pumpkin patch. Well, we'll see how that ever gets going. Someday. One day I can get a helper or a worker if I can afford one, and then I can get some real work done. But yeah, these are my other pears here. Again, lots of growth. I know those are a lot of water sprouts, but there was some damage on the tree, so I'm just going to let it go this year mostly, and just kind of let it take care of itself, and then we'll see how it goes next year. Especially in the spring, we'll take some of the water sprouts out. Let's get up to those walnuts. I'll show you how they're doing. My first walnuts, chestnuts. My first chestnuts that I put in was the Japanese American. Let's go check them out. So we're down in that little cove that I kind of dug out in one of my other videos there. It's just a little pathway down to this little runoff creek. It's not even a real creek, it's just a runoff to the creek. So, but it gets enough water, and we found a little spot that's deep enough where it gets enough water that holds onto it. So this pump does really well. I'll get up and in a minute I'll show you what it did last weekend to fill those ponds. Alright, so creek is just ahead of us. that little runoff we just came from. This is my Lockwood. This is a grafted Lockwood Chestnut. I'm not sure if that means it's a Japanese American or not. I don't know. I'm not sure, but these 4 are, and they did really well. They're growing kind of weird, some of them, but that's okay. We like weird here. So yeah, they did really well. They grabbed another couple of feet. I mean, these things were only like 3 or 4 feet when I got them, so they're about 6 feet now because I'm 6 foot and they're just a bit bigger than me. So yeah, they're doing well. So let's get up to this pond here. I'll show you what's going on over here. Well, here's some of our other guild here, right? I mean, as you can see, like a crab apple tree, beautiful little crab apples on it, like just bursting. And again, you can totally eat them. I think there's pretty much recipes you can make, crab apple jam, stuff like that. But it's a really good pollinator, so that's why I keep it. It's really good for my apples here. And then we have the horseshoe guild over here, right in front of us. Pretty much everything's doing okay. This jostaberry right here, I'm pretty sure that's a jostaberry or something. It struggles every year. Hopefully it keeps struggling and it just keeps getting bigger and it won't have to struggle anymore. Sometimes once a tree gets in the ground and it's really puts roots, you don't have to worry about it no more. Like my weeping mulberry, once they get in that ground, they're like drought tolerant, and yeah, they're all right. Pecans lived, so we'll see how they make out this winter, and if they come back. And the pond's doing well. I don't see any fishes. It's hard to see them. They hide pretty dang good. So yeah, Dad helped me out, filled up the whole entire pond and let it overflow. So we had good overflow on both, so that should get us through the winter, because once the ground freezes, the water doesn't absorb in the ground anymore and it just goes straight through the pond. So yeah, we got a bunch of goldfish that I put in there one year, and I have a dozen in there. And my dad said he's seen a few blue herring down here a couple of times, taking the fish out. And hopefully next year I'll get in there and take out those bulrushes, because I don't want them in this pond, not in the big one. But yeah, I got my lilies over here. They did really well. I had probably about 12 or 13 of those all at one time. And yeah, I just got to get in there and do a little rake and get that stuff out of there. I don't want it to rot in the pond. But yeah, this is the bottom of the hill. Again, we're just on the what we call the right side. So let's get up there and see some more of these the newer chestnuts, the ones I grew from seed. Yeah, before we get to those chestnuts, I just wanted to show you these Paaws. Now, they haven't got too much growth on them. They're pretty slow growing, especially where they are. They're just neglected a little bit too much, I think. And yeah, they're a hard tree to grow, I think. They're not the easiest. The easiest, I would think, would be chestnut. But you know, put it in the comments if you got an easier tree that you can grow. I'd love to hear it. Anyways, we'll check those other chestnuts out. Okay, so the chestnuts down on the right side of the property at the end, those are Japanese American. These are Chinese American. I had a line on some Italian ones too, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted them or not. But they're only edible. I only get edibles. I don't have anything in here. I'm trying to get rid of anything that doesn't really produce something of value. If a pine tree can stay, like for example, that's a pig nut. Now I can't use that. The only thing it does is deter the squirrels from eating the other stuff, I guess. But eventually that thing's going to get too big and I'm going to have to take it down, and I'll just replace it with some edible chestnuts. Because this whole side on the right side, I want to have chestnuts. Just chestnuts, all edible chestnuts and or walnuts, because they all kind of nuts grow together. I found that raspberries grow good with, like, say, walnut, but a lot of other things don't. So then we got our parking lot over here, which kind of sucks. It's an eyesore, but we'll worry about that later. Slowly but surely we're getting there, and we're right back to the greenhouse where I got my doors on now. Next year hopefully I'll probably replace that plastic so that I can get that thinner stuff, the encapsulated plexiglass or whatever it is. So we'll be getting that and replacing that old stuff there with the dents and the cracks and the dirt. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, share it with your friends. But this is my food forest after about 3 years. And I just kind of love being out here, breathing the fresh air. And I'm enjoying today because it's not too cold, which is great. I'm enjoying nature, except for when they eat my trees. I can't say I dig that at all. But if we could get into an understanding, we'd be doing great here. So yeah, we'll see you next week, and we'll try and do a little different video. Take care.